Actress Sydney Sweeney recently came under attack by a Hollywood producer calling her untalented, ugly, and various other things. Well, now Sydney Sweeney fires back with a perfect response. So if you missed it previously, a Hollywood producer went on a interesting tirade and talked a little bit about what's been going on in Hollywood, specifically about stars and actors, actresses, whatever. And during this tirade, Sydney Sweeney was brought up, and well, some very despicable, shallow things were said. Again, I addressed this in a much longer video. I think it was like a 10-minute video. I'll make it one of the ones that pops up, and I kind of tackle the whole idea of this fandom, everybody that's been saying things. It's all in there. I don't want to reiterate it. But essentially, it's just something that didn't need to be said. Let's be clear about that. And well, Sydney Sweeney just recently had a reply to this. And her reply might be peak in terms of how to reply to someone. She said, and I quote, "I'm sorry for having great chest assets." Let's put it that way. So if I say the word, YouTube's like, no, you can't say that. So I got to refrain from using it. But you know, the things on her chest that everybody will take a notice of. Yeah, perfect response. Honestly, a perfect response. And on top of this, she did have a little bit more, but this is the one that gets the most traction. She did say that it's kind of shallow and pathetic of people to do this, to degrade women or anybody like this, and I agree. It really is. Again, I talked about it in the other video. Sydney Sweeney might not be your type. That's 100% fine. But you don't need to drag her through the mud, insult her looks, or anything like that, right? Just move on. You know, and I also addressed it in that video, but some people will say, yeah, that's how you got to do it. Just don't insult women, but they're going to turn around and automatically, or in their history, they're insulting women that they don't find attractive. It's a whole thing. I love her response. She was way smarter and more level-headed than anybody could have guessed, because she could have fired back in a negative way. But no, this was a positive way, and she highlights herself, which is great.